Buenas tardes. This is a review session for Spanish 4 Regents. So, hola Jesus, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hola Marina, Patricia, Natalia, Tamar, Lupe, Timoteo. Alright, so Guillermo. Alright, so you guys, this is specifically for Spanish 4R, and before we start, I just want to mention a few things that I think are pertinent to you. So, hola yo-yo. So here's the scoop. And this really especially applies to you guys that are taking this class for dual credit. So, I'm sure Miss Picente talked about this on Tuesday, but just in case you missed it, you guys should have received an email from Mr. Clark regarding learning expectations. And if you look at what it says about the dual credit, we are still expected as your teachers to collect work from you and provide feedback and give assessments. So what does that mean for you guys? So I'm going to speak just as far as my students go, and I would imagine it's the same thing for Miss Picente. So you, in order to receive full credit, you had to have sent to me your responses to chapters 1 and 2. You should have sent to me before Tuesday's session at 12:30, and then you should have sent 3 and 4 to me by 12:30 today. So most of you guys did that, and you guys who are here for Spanish 3, this is totally not applicable to you. So you're welcome to join us if you want, but this is not relevant to what we're doing in Spanish 3, although it's nice to see you guys. So if we just share, is that good? Yes, exactly, Lupe. You're just supposed to share it with me. I went through about an hour ago, and I checked into my grade book by hand, not yet in School Tool. I checked in who sent me stuff. So as an example, I had 2 students who sent me stuff on Tuesday, but they sent it at like 6:15. So they're only going to get partial credit because it has to be sent to me before the live sessions, because what we're doing is we're going over the answers. So in essence, if you don't have it into me ahead of time, then I'm basically giving you the answers. Miss Picente is giving you the answers. So that's why you have to make sure it's ahead of time. Can I just add to the doc? Yes, you sure can, Natalia. Yep, you can just add to the doc. I start everything that you guys sent to me. I'm sure Miss Picente, she's way super tech savvy, so I'm sure she has that covered too. You guys should understand, and again, I'm talking to level 4 here because this is all level 4 stuff. It's not relevant to level 3. Hola, Diego. You will be getting an assessment at the end of each week. So this week it's going to be through Google Forms, and you're going to have to answer some comprehension questions. It's going to vary from week to week, but a lot of it will be via Google Forms, and there will be a summative assessment on this whole thing that we're doing with Don Quixote de la Mancha. You're going to have to do a writing about it. So it's really important that you understand what's happening. If you have a way to access your answers while you're on the phone with me, I don't know if that's possible. I know right now we have 4 people at home and everybody's on a different device. So, but if you can access your answers just to check it out, so that you can continue to comprehend what's happening here, because we certainly want to make sure that you guys who have been working hard all year are going to get your full credit for this. So, that being said, first of all, and again, you guys that are here for level 3, as much as I appreciate you being here, I just want to make sure you know this is for level 4 Regents. We're in the middle of reading a novel, so this is really not necessarily applicable to you, although feel free to join us if you have nothing else to do. So the first thing, which I'm really super excited about, I have an amigo para hoy, and you are never going to guess, because I was going to make a run into school and rescue my amigos, and we're on limited time schedule. Like, we actually have difficulty getting into the building, but look who I found here at home. You're never going to guess. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this, you guys. La Lupsi, ¿no? La Lupsi parece que lleva una disfraz. It looks like she's wearing a costume, no? I think she's my only La Lupsi left at home. So I was so super excited to find her and just wanted to share her with you guys. Mira, que bonita es, no? Es tan bonita. All right, so there's our La Lupsi. All right, she's just going to sit her on the corner of our screen. Yep, I know. It's the little things in life, you guys. We gotta take joy in the little things. All right, so I'm going to go through. Hopefully you guys are understanding what's happening here with Don Quixote. He, at this point, when we join him, he has read all of these books about knights in shining armor, and to the point that he has basically driven himself crazy, and he now is embarking on his own journey as a knight in shining armor, even though he's really not. So, when we look at this, que terrible pensamiento tuvo Don Quixote, what terrible thought did he have? Don Quixote pensó que no había sido armado caballero. So, he thought that he was not a knight in shining armor yet. Like, he had not been appointed a knight. So that was his horrible thought to him, because this is, of course, his life's achievement after having been driven crazy by reading all of these stories. Que vio, que creó. Vio una venta y creó que era un castillo. Vio a dos mozas y creó que eran princesas. So he saw this inn, and he thought it was a castle. And then he saw two maidens, and he thought that they were princesses. Okay? ¿Por qué no pudieron contener la risa las mozas? So why couldn't they contain their laughter? And that would be, no pudieron contener la risa porque le vieron tan ridícula figura. So they saw him as this just ridiculous figure. Okay? ¿Qué dijo Don Quixote cuando se rieron? What did he say when they laughed at him? Dijo que la risa que procede de leve causa es tontería. So he thinks this is just something like mild or slight. Leve means like something mild or slight. So laughter that's caused by something so inane is craziness, right? ¿Conoce usted a personas que se ríen por leve causa? ¿Quiénes son? And we all know that, yes, you guys definitely know. Those of you guys that are students of mine, you definitely know somebody who laughs for no reason or for just some silly reason. I know someone like that. So, up till now, do you guys have any questions? Minnie, shh. My dog has decided to join me and apparently wants to be pet while I'm trying to teach you guys. So, if you don't have questions, just give me a thumbs up. Okay, so I can move on. I want to make sure we cover all this stuff. For those of you guys that were here at the beginning, it's important that we stay on track with this stuff as we follow through. Okay, good, Angelica, gracias. All right, gracias, Guillermo. Okay, gracias, Timoteo. All right, so this next page, ¿Qué dijo el ventero? What did the innkeeper say? El ventero dijo que no tenía cama, pero tenía todo lo demás. Minnie, you gotta move, buddy. I'm sorry, you guys. My dog is legit, like, right next to my head. What did the innkeeper say? He said that he didn't have a bed, right? Tenía, notice right here, this is that whole tener in the imperfect. If we want it to mean had, it's got to be in the imperfect. Pero tenía todo lo demás. So he didn't have a bed, but he had everything else. ¿Por qué le llamó Don Quijote Castellano el Ventero? Right? Why did he call him Castellano? Because he really truly believed, instead of being at this inn, that he was at a castle. Okay, because he's envisioning what it would have been in a story of knights in shining armor, so to speak. ¿Cuál era el descanso de Don Quixote? What was his rest? His rest was fighting. That's what he thought. And ¿por qué cree usted que dijo el ventero que Don Quijote no podría dormir en un año en esa venta? Why do you think he said that? Well, he probably said that because there's probably a lot of problems in that inn. So, episodio 3 was long, right? We keep going. Hopefully we know, just to make sure you guys are on board with this, who is Rocinante in this story? Just to make sure you guys are with me on this. Who is Rocinante in this story? You guys know? Yes, good, Angelica. So Rocinante is the horse. Okay, so he's a central player in this story. So far, we have met 3 central players. Don Quixote, we've met Rocinante, and we've met Dulcinea. So those are 3 important players in this story. There's going to be another one. Okay. So Don Quixote cree que Rocinante es mejor que el bucéfalo de Alejandro Magno, who was, of course, this famous horse. Okay. Como debe tratar, to treat, right? How should he treat a Rocinante? Hay que cuidarlo bien. That's the thing. He wants to make sure he's well taken care of. Que cenó Don Quijote esa noche? Don Quijote cenó unas truchuelas y un pan muy verde. So he was eating this like stinky codfish, and he was eating some very green bread. The way that's written, I would interpret that as it was moldy, right? Cuando se levantó Don Quijote, se levantó cuando el ventero lo armó caballero. So what you saw at the end of this episode was he was interpreting that the innkeeper was in charge of this castle, whether he was a king or whatever he thought in his head. He had asked him if he would please become, if he would be the person who would knight him, so that he could truly become, right, un caballero, okay? All right, so then, ¿qué hizo esa misma noche Don Quijote? What did Don Quixote do that same night, Oladora? Don Quijote rezó frente a sus armas en la capilla. So he prayed. In la capilla, a capilla is a chapel. All right, so before we go on to chapter 4, are you guys okay with chapter 3? Is there anything you're not understanding that I could clarify for you? We can't really see her over here. She's the only one I have at home, so. Anything on chapter 3 that's a problem? If not, give me a thumbs up. Please. All right, gracias Lupe, gracias Adán, Timoteo. All right, so ¿qué respondió a Don Quijote el socarrón ventero? Right, how did he respond? Right, le dijo que debía rezar en el corral porque la capilla estaba en ruinas. So he told Don Quixote that he should probably go pray in the corral because the chapel was in ruins. So here's another example that we saw earlier, that the innkeeper, his inn probably was not in the best of shape. And then just to drive that point home, which you see again and again in this book, that Don Quixote was having some, had truly been driven crazy. ¿Qué pasó cuando Don Quixote rezaba en el corral? Notice, you guys, this is the imperfect, right? So this is the were, ing, was, ing. Oh, see that? I'm painting while I'm at night. All right, so what was Don Quixote, like, what happened when he was praying? So here we have, this would be my interrupting action. What happened? Here's my ongoing event, rezaba, okay? Vino un arriero para dar agua a sus mulas. So an arriero, if you look in the notes of the book, it says a muleteer, and all that means is somebody who takes care of mules. Really, that's all it means. So he arrived in order to get water for his mules. And then, ¿qué dijo Don Quixote? What did he say? Don Quixote dijo que no debía tocar sus armas. So he kind of basically threatened him in a way and said, hey, don't touch my armor, all my stuff that a knight would need. And then the muleteer replied and said he didn't understand Don Quixote, que no entendía Don Quixote. Dijo también que solo quería dar agua a sus mulas. So here he only wanted to give. Here's another example of those verbs that change meaning, preterite versus imperfect. And we have the imperfect here because we know that in the preterite, querer is not going to mean the same thing as it does in the imperfect. So, ¿qué hizo entonces Don Quixote? ¿Qué creó Don Quixote? What did he do then? And what did he believe? Right? Don Quixote dijo el nombre de Dulcinea y le atacó al arriero. Creo que el arriero era un atrevido caballero. So, if you were to have knowledge of these books, like a knight in shining armor book, what is a typical thing that happens is they're always fighting in the name of somebody for the love of someone. There's romance involved. So in this case, he's decided that he's going to be going out and being a knight in shining armor in the name of Dulcinea, who we know is really not Dulcinea. That's what he calls her. I think this was episodio dos. And she's really basically just a worker, like a hard laborer, okay? ¿Qué les hizo Don Quixote a los otros arrieros? What did he do to the other muleteers, the other people who were taking care of their mules? Well, les atacó con su lanza. He attacked them with his sword. So, and then, ¿qué les dijo el ventero a los otros arrieros? So then the innkeeper comes in, and he basically says to these other guys who are all about to come back and gang up on Don Quixote, the innkeeper steps in and he says, you guys, this is just like a poor, crazy person here. So leave him alone. And then, ¿qué dijo furioso Don Quixote? Dijo que los arrieros eran alevosos y el ventero era un follón, right? So, what did he say? He said that they were treacherous, right? And he also said that the innkeeper was a coward. So this is where we leave. We end up with episode 4. And then tomorrow you guys want to proceed with episode 5. You have heard, I'm sure, that we do not have spring break at this point. There is no spring break, so we will continue to teach through we'll just keep continuing to teach. And we will continue to teach here on Instagram Live. Miss Picente and I think that that's probably the best platform for now. We are looking into other platforms with our 3s to see if that's something that would work better for us. But right now, this really seems to be the best platform for level 4. So she'll be on here Tuesday from 12:30 to 1. I'll be on here Thursday from 12:30 to 1, but I just want to reiterate those of you guys who joined us after the beginning of this, especially you guys that are taking this for dual credit, please be aware you are going to be sent at the end of each week. You're going to be sent some sort of assessment that you have to complete and return to us. Whether that's tomorrow, it's basically comprehension questions via Google Forms. There will be a summative assessment for the entire novel, Don Quixote, that you will be submitting a writing piece. And the other thing that's really important is that you submit your answers to your teacher before class begins. So I went in here at 12. I mean, legit, I went in my grade book at 12 and marked down who had sent me stuff and who had not. And people who had not are not going to end up with full credit because it was due before we started, because, of course, here's the answers. So before I sign off, does anybody have a question about Don Quixote, about the format of teaching, anything I can answer a question about? What do you guys think? Hola, Fonsi. Hola, Maria. No questions. I'm going to interpret that as that you guys are all right then. So I'm going to save this on my story for 24 hours. Miss Picente, I'm sure, is going to upload it to her webpage. And feel free to reach out to either of us if you guys have any questions. Hope you're doing well and staying busy. All right. Talk to you soon. Take care. Adios.